Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
That. I'll be with you shortly. Something's going on here with my spectacles. I can't see.
Well, that's kind of the purpose of you needing glasses in the first place, eh?
What's that, young man? What's that? I can't quite hear you.
I know. You're old.
Just think, one day
Jesus
you will
Christ.
be my age, but I'll be older than you. What's happening?
I don't know.
Did you trailer play?
What is
play for me?
What are you? What the fuck you just say to me, boy?
I seen the elephants. Know that Everton played fine for me.
I don't know why, and it's not even letting me do the chat from me on the platform.
Welcome, John Morris. Emerald Isles Paranormal. Finally, you two are back on. Good to see you both.
We were here last week. What are you talking about? Oh wait, I forgot. YouTube took down last Sunday's episode.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. I told you when it happened.
No.
Because we got to talking about the GB jab and that specific doctor
right,
down in Orlando. Yeah.
Jibby jab.
We had an episode taken down on YouTube. But here's the weird part. It's only on the main company channel that it was taken down on. Everywhere else.
Jenny was away to a secret filming location.
Whatever your girl does with her OnlyFans is her business.
Look, Jenny was away to a beautiful...
I'm sorry, Jenny. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. I'll tell you something. Jenny was away to a fantastic place. Jenny, am I allowed to tell you what the place was called? I'm allowed to say what it's called.
Didn't you already? I think you said it last week on the Forbidden episode.
Oh my God! Did you talk about the needles? I have now.
Whoa!
I just mentioned it.
I go to mention OnlyFans and she's mentioning needles. This is going to be a very raunchy show. How more episodes have been taken down?
No, she means we were talking about COVID. She means we were talking about
COVID.
Oh,
no, actually, Jenny, what we talked about was a specific doctor named Christina Northrup, who was physically named by President Biden as a disinformation agent in regards to COVID-19.
Don't worry, Jenny. I never mentioned the location you were at last week. Don't worry about it.
I think he did.
No, I didn't. I just said you were at
I think he did, but I can't remember if we were filming.
I never mentioned the location.
I
never mentioned it.
No, I think you did.
I never mentioned it. I know if
I think you did.
You need to watch it, and I've watched it all, and I never mentioned it, so it's fine. Note the name. I never mentioned the name. I said you were away to a haunted Irish castle. That's what I said. But I never said the name of the castle. To be the life of me, I couldn't pronounce it.
That would be very true. That would be very true. I will give you that you would not actually be able to pronounce it.
He's only trying to wind you up, Jenny. You know? You were away too, weren't you? No, you weren't away, were you? You here last weekend?
I was here last weekend.
That's right, you were. You were. Just the dementia started there.
I was slightly out of it because I got a bit of a head cold from when I got back from Orlando.
I see. I think he's been kissing the gators. He's been clapping the gators.
Oh God! You just had to bring that up.
What?
You and your bestiality fantasies.
Look! It's no my fault in Scotland if you say clap an animal, it means scratch their ears or fondle them. I've asked multiple people about this. I've asked loads of people about this. And every single person in my village, maybe they're all strange, I don't know, and they're probably watching this now, have said if you clap an animal, it's giving them a pet. Obviously in America, it means different. You've got different names for things. Hello, Dakota, how was your time away?
Orlando was lovely. Yeah, I know you saw my reaction videos to that ordeal.
Just not the
but
gators. Covered in bite marks, yes.
No. I was really needing
come
a
up
new
from
belt.
behind. You have to come up from behind the gators, you know that. It doesn't bite you.
Jace says, "Are we doing the clap?" See, that's your boyfriend. That's your man. You're the one claiming him.
Stop it.
I question your mental sanity when I first heard the news, genuinely. But he's the one that's obsessed with having sex with animals.
Look, in America, clapping means obviously something else, but in the UK, clapping means petting.
It can mean a number of things. Petting
It can mean
was
a number
not
of
on
things.
the list.
Honestly, you know. But we had the Mike the Naked Bigfoot tribute. Did you watch that?
I caught a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was good. That was good.
That was a really, really good show. And Jenny, you done well done in asking really good questions on that show.
Yes. Jenny actually knows what she's doing.
Yes, I know. But yeah, it was a good show. But what I did do with that show is I kept it unmonetized. I didn't monetize it, and I tell Pete that Pete's probably watching this now. I didn't want to put adverts on something that was dedicated to somebody.
Yeah. Oh, that's understandable.
It's not as if I'm making money off it anyway. You're lucky if you make 20 pence on it. I mean, it's no.
Yeah, but if we get in trouble with YouTube again, we're going to have to redirect everybody to our Patreon.
I know.
That wants to to support us.
Become a member's only 99 cents.
But it's not going to mean much if YouTube goes to take it away.
I know.
And they keep the fucking money. Greedy bastards. Yeah.
Did you get how much YouTube before I was monetized, right? On Go Squad Scotland, how much monetization do you think YouTube made off me?
Oh, I don't know, a couple pennies.
£360.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I've only made 60 of that. I'll not even go to that point yet. I'm like £2 off or something, making £60 on it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think with Paul the Bonkers, we're barely up to $10.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't make money, guys. You make money through PayPals and stuff like that. But to be purely honest with you, I'm not like other YouTubers out there where I constantly spam the chat with my PayPal link and beg for money. I don't see that.
PayPal's not exactly. PayPal is just unreliable as a resource in the first place. So
I use it to buy all my stuff off of eBay. I will admit it's handy for buying stuff off of eBay, like the stuff that I buy. I mean, I bought these the other day. No, I had to buy a new camera battery, and it's they're Velcro. They're Velcro, and I bought them off of eBay, and £2 it was, and it took about 5 days to get to me. But I mean,
what do you expect?
So the subject tonight, the jibby jabby.
I figured after we had that incident, we need to go on a fucking rant when it comes to social media censorship, because with everything going on in the world, it's getting a little ridiculous.
Oh, I know. Come on. You can't say anything nowadays. You can't say anything.
I know.
Look, I got a strike on my TikTok.
What did you do on your TikTok or should we even be airing it on this show?
As everybody knows, I've got a UFO channel there on TikTok, but I don't post any more videos. I've got something like 4,000 something subscribers. What I've noticed is last week I got a grand total of 400 new subscribers, but it went down too. It never went up. But I can see all the people that subscribe to me. So it's as if they're taking them off. I'm like shadow banned. There was a thing about, shall we name the place? Palestine.
Oh, yeah.
And there was people in London, and the Jewish community had put loads of pictures up of their family that's missing. It's been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some, what do you call it, other ones there, not of a Christian descent, if you know what I'm saying. And they were ripping them down and burning them in front of the police officers. right, in the video, and I put, that's disgraceful. Why does the police not do anything? And I get a strike for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that.
You know, speaking of which, that also reminds me, it's something I've been meaning to try to look into, but have you seen the reports of Israel allegedly trying to buy out social media influencers to trash Palestine?
What's that? You broke up there.
Have you heard about social media influencers getting business emails claiming to be from Israel?
Yeah, I heard that.
Saying that they need to go, if they go live slamming Palestinians,
I heard that.
They would get paid.
I heard that. Yeah, 5,000. Some of them have been offered 5,000.
5,000. There was one that was 800. Everyone got different amounts. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and look into it. I wanted to see the legitimacy because they all would block out the email that it was sent from when they go screenshots. But I'm sorry. The situation when it comes to Hamas and Israel, it's a no-win situation. Innocents are blood's being shed on all sides.
Both sides.
But it's awful fucking funny that when we mention anything that's not white, that it gets flagged.
I know. So if you were saying, oh yes, a white guy was getting beaten to death in the middle of London, that would be all right.
There would be no press coverage.
If it had been other way, if it had been running the other way around about Jesus and all that's holy, there'd be everything. There'd be SWAT teams out of helicopters getting paratrooped down and everything.
I mean, it's a fucked up situation. No innocent blood should be shed over this type of stuff. Israel, if you actually look at the situation, Israel was trying to strengthen all the ties in the Middle East. It was trying to push for peace until something happened.
Yeah.
If you actually trace back, the United States is funding both sides of this conflict.
I'm going to say this, right? See Hamas. You have no idea how bad Hamas is, right? Even Al-Qaeda are afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's saying something. That's the people that obviously blew up the Twin Towers, right? Well, supposedly blew up the Twin Towers. If you want to do that line in that subject, we'll do that a story for another time, as Mike would say. But this is the thing about them, right? They're evil, right? Now you've got all these different communities out there. Let's take the trans community, the trans. You know what I'm talking about? The trans community, their pride flag, and they're walking into women's bathrooms and stuff like that. Are now saying they support Hamas and they support Gaza.
I know.
Right?
Here's the thing. Do these trans people realize what Hamas does to trans people?
You have no idea, right? And I'm actually a Muslim that tells us this, right? I know somebody and he told me this, right? And he says, do you have any idea what they would do to a transvestite in their country? I'm not even going to go into it, but it would be bad. And then they would chuck you off the top of a building. Right? And this is the mad. Hamas is bad. And even Saudi Arabia is coming in to say, listen, Hamas is bad. They are needing to call like a peace process. They are needing to do like a peace process over there now. And maybe stop bombing the shit out of everybody, right? But the thing is, this is the problem. See if they stop this attack, Hamas will regroup, rebuild, and then 5 or 6 years down the line do the same again. This is the problem. So what do you do? Wipe them out. But it's going to take an act of God basically to wipe them out because there's loads of them. A lot of people don't realise this, but they're all underground. They're all underground. Remember and check out our TV network, guys, because I've got a feeling this video might get taken down tonight.
I know. That's why we have an Indiegogo campaign to try to fund our own streaming platform.
Yeah.
To show the cases show as well as others. And the plan is to not allow this type of censorship, to allow discussions to be had.
What's that there? I'm just going to read some of the chat. Let them move over and then let's say the support they have for much longer. That's right, that's Anne. Then we've got Emerald Dials there. when someone posts pictures and asks for opinions, should we give it or not? See, that's the
Depends
thing.
on what the picture is.
Aye.
I have a feeling I know what that question's about. But
right, when you go, what's that about? Try and go round about it safely.
Something we went to discuss. Obviously, if you go to post pictures online asking for opinions, you need to be ready for all sides of potential arguments.
Yeah.
There's going to be idiots that try to say it's faked. There's going to, or the person that posted the photo could not even be thinking straight for whatever reason. It could not anything malicious. It could just be that they're a little sleep deprived. Maybe, it is that time of year. People are getting the cold, and it happens. And, they're not able to think straight and think that if it's like a ghosty picture, it's something that,
Look, if you to look at a picture with hundreds of dots, right? That Elon Musk's eye was doing that. His eye was putting out kind of pictures, and his eye was asked. I don't know if he's trying to see how intelligent folk are. And I was asked, "What do you see in the picture?" And I was like a number 531 or something like that, right? But see if you stare at a picture with millions of dots, or like just say a picture with hundreds of bushes and stuff like that. If you stare at that for say, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, right? You're going to see things. You know what I mean? You can see like Ferraris and ships and helicopters and you name it. If your mind, what your mind thinking about, you can make it up.
It's a very well-known phenomenon that the mind tries to seek out patterns. It's believed to be a survival mechanism. We try to seek out patterns of potential danger so we can try to avoid it.
There's a message here. Emerald Isles Paranormal Research. Be professional, accept criticism. None is an expert in the field, and as it was called. Exactly. That
was exactly what I thought it was. But unfortunately, we have this sort of discussion. We run into it all the time, and there's been several times where we've all been dragged into this fucking bitching of these click mentalities. That is the most idiotic approach, and anybody who believes that needs to be, they're my friend, so I believe you. You're accomplishing nothing. You're a childish moron. We're trying to figure out what's going on and actually get a discussion to maybe do something better.
It's as if, right, if you see something, somebody comments and you go, that's your opinion, and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And leave it at that. And that's that. Don't mention it again. But there you go. It's the same thing like what's happening in Gaza now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, folk are putting up pictures. A bombed hospital. But is it a bombed hospital? See, this is the thing. I've seen so much fakery. Have you seen the AI burning cars? And people have proved that it is.
Yeah, I've seen the video that you're talking about. It wasn't necessarily an AI. It was a video game generator. Unreal. The program's called Unreal Engine. Anybody can get their hands on it. It's completely free to use. And the latest models, it's so photorealistic that it makes you quite. In fact, they ran the latest Matrix through that, and it was practically indistinguishable from reality.
Somebody in TikTok the other day, right? TikTok, the best propaganda network that there is out there, right? I posted a picture of this street with like dead people lying in the road. And there was burning cars. And look what's happening in Palestine. The poor people have been killed by the Israelis. But see if you Google where that street is, like some people have done, it's in the Israeli city. It's the Israeli side.
That's the thing when it comes to these conflicts. Hamas is purposely situating themselves to where innocents will be caught in the crossfire. This is a no-win situation.
No, it's not. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse. And I'll tell you something, there will be British troops and there will be American troops on the ground. It's going to happen.
That's the thing. What a lot of people don't realize is that just about every other country in the world, Russia, I mean, hell, if I'm not mistaken, even China's trying to step up and say, this shit needs to stop.
Yeah.
People are trying to stop this. But the United States, wanting to push its dollar just a little bit further, is propagating it. It's the funding at all sides of it. That's the thing people need to realize. The Israelis, Hamas, they're all getting fucking played.
Everybody's getting played. Look, there's been bloody weapons for North Korea found inside Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you're getting them there, guys? Do honestly, seriously, how do you? I'll tell you exactly how they're getting there. There's an American organization, they're called the CIA, right? Now the CIA are friends with arms dealers, right? So they give them money, right? And then they go to like North Korea and they buy weapons for North Korea with that money. And then they take it to maybe like an arms dealer in, like, say, maybe, I don't know, Iran, and sell it to the Iranians, right? For a wee bit more, right? And then the Iranians take it to the border with Iran or whatever to them for where the terrorists all meet up, right? And they say, look, we'll give you that. And they say, look what we've bought for you. Here's some rockets and some machine guns.
No.
It's America.
Hamas is officially an Iranian-run organization. It's essentially an army of mercenaries.
It's the other ones
by Iran.
You don't want the other ones getting involved. Is it Hezbollah?
Mm-hmm.
If they get involved, it will be major. You think the war in Europe, the news bad? If Hezbollah get involved, say tomorrow or tonight, it'll be really bad. Because basically, they've risen is it the black flag of jihad that's been risen?
Mm-hmm.
That means every Muslim that looks up to that flag will probably attack.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it on a grand scale. See, See, tomorrow in the UK, it's Remembrance Day for the fallen soldiers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 1 million man march planned for London on that day.
Really?
Aye, but you know who's marching? It's all folk protesting Gaza. It's no the Jewish community, it's the other ones. And they're going to be marching to the cenotaph. That came with the soldiers, came with the poppies are put and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bear this in mind, these people have been already caught burning poppies and say death to the UK and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I give him his due. The Prime Minister, he's need to put troops in the street. He needs to put troops in the street to stop this. He put out, you better no do it. Right, that's not going to stop it. That's not going to stop it. But it's getting bad. I bet you something happens. I bet you this causes something. And I hope it doesn't. And I hope everybody that's watching this don't do it. Don't stay at home. Just stay at home.
It's understandable to get emotional when we see images of conflict. That's why a lot of the children, the kids, that were in their 20s at the music festival when Hamas first attacked, their bodies are being paraded. And Hamas soldiers are literally getting the phones off of these dead kids, calling up the families in order to push the narrative that much further.
Yeah.
This is not a fight for righteousness. This is terrorism to the highest degree.
See, this is what I kind of get, though. This is what I kind of get, right? Obviously, the UK, America, France, and Canada and all that are with Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're helping Israel because they're sending their ships and their troops and their weapons, right, to protect Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why does the UK attack people that support Israel in their own country?
That's a very good question. Why is it that social media platforms are attacking anybody that speaks in favor of Palestinians, of the innocent kids that are getting caught in the crossfire?
Yeah.
The kids don't. Yes, they utilize child soldiers over there, but again, it's bloodshed on all sides.
I'm getting to the point too, right, where it's in London there was folk who were driving trucks run about with billboards there, big electronic billboards, and it was people that were missing in Israel. It was Israelis that were kidnapped, and they were just trying to put awareness, and the police stopped them and arrested them and said, you can't do this. And they're putting up posters of missing people, and then you've got the other ones that are the Christian going up. I'm not saying who they are. I'm not what to say anything. Going up to it. They're ripping them down, burning them in front of police, and they're not doing nothing. I don't understand it. I don't. If the Prime Minister and the UK government stand with Israel, why are they not doing anything to protect these people when they're out there? Because I think all these people that are the Palestinians that went to do the march and stuff like that should also have the right, because it's freedom of speech. But also the Jewish community should have the right to freedom of speech to do exactly the same. But it's no. And what you have to remember is they're white. I think this is where it's going here, you see. White people don't have freedom of speech, but the other way around about.
But it also goes to, in theory, you could technically trace this back to the 1940s, where they say that the Nazis may have lost the war, but they won the globe overall.
Goes to dad.
Every single political movement has been infiltrated in order to incite violence within the population.
There was trillions and trillions of dollars at the end of the war missing in Germany. Gold, mostly. A lot of it went to Argentina, we know that. Right? And a lot of the high-up Nazis went to Argentina. And a lot of the families, even supposedly Adolf Hitler made it to Argentina. And that's an actual fact that you can actually see that hunting Hitler, they were kind of close to it. But there's actually people out there that have did research on this, and he did make it. See, they'll say, but we've got Hitler's skull. But here's an interesting fact about Hitler's skull. When the Russians gave it back, which was, I think it was in the early 80s or 90s, to get examined, they found that there was a certain type of dirt on his bones. That dirt's not found in Germany. It's found in Argentina. I think he made it to Argentina. I think they've infiltrated. I think every government body, the United States government's infiltrated. And I think President Kennedy, I think he came close to finding this out.
Kennedy
makes you wonder what happened. Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened to him.
Kennedy was trying to shut down the CIA. First off. And going back to Hitler, here's the thing. If we allegedly had his body from that bunker, why would the US, the UK, the Russians, even German officials, several European nations spend billions upon billions of dollars trying to find him? And there's actually declassified CIA documents that point out that, there was somebody who looked an awful lot like Hitler.
There's witnesses
who lived out his old age in Argentina.
There's witnesses that have signed affidavits saying that it was him, and they were priests, because the Catholic Church helped him escape.
Yeah.
Because what happened was he escaped into Spain, and that was that Franco, whatever his name was, his pal. That was a neutral country during the war. And that Franco protected him for a wee while until he could get into a U-boat and sail across the sea to Argentina. I'm telling you, it's everything.
Officials managed to make it to Argentina. And as far as infiltration, the Nazis didn't have to do much. If they had information that the Allies wanted, they were brought in willingly through Project Paperclip and similar programs. We literally invited them in.
Did you see that in Canada? I'll tell you something new. If there's anybody for Canada in here, I just don't know. Is it Justin Trudeau? Mr. Trudeau. You can't know what I'm talking about. Right.
Trudeau.
Did you see the speech? And I think it was about a month ago in their parliament. Did you see that?
I saw
and
that.
They said, we would like to welcome a war hero into the room to speak. And the guy came in and done a wee speech. There was like about 110 or something like that. Done a wee speech. Ooh, they're all saluting him and all that. What was he, Dakota? The one that did the wee speech?
He was a Nazi. He was former SS.
Yeah. Yep. Look, the Nazis are everywhere. They might not have the Nazi flag. They might not march about in their black uniforms and all that kind of stuff with their skull and crossbones, but they're everywhere. And they're running this world. They never lost the war. It was a tactical retreat they did when they said Hitler died. They knew they were screwed. As soon as America got involved, they knew they were screwed. That day that America got involved, it was only a matter of time. The generals knew they were screwed. So they had to. They had 3 years after the Americans got involved to plan something. So that's why they started building in Argentina and stuff like that. They couldn't win.
When the Japanese invaded Pearl Harbor, they legitimately thought it was going to take months at least for the U.S. to deploy the seas. And they honestly thought the war was going to be over by the time the U.S. was going to be ready. Germans, and there was actually a Japanese general who said that he was likely going to be killed on his ship. He was wrong. The Americans shot him down out of the sky. But he knew that he was going to end up dead at the hands of the Americans once they realized the Americans were getting involved.
Yeah. It's the same with Mussolini. His troops were inexperienced. They didn't have weapons like the Germans had. They had loads of troops, so I'll give them that, and with guns and stuff like that. But that was it. That was it. Against the British, that's the thing. I had a conversation one night. It was actually with my uncle. Actually, it was a conversation about the war. This is years ago. I had this conversation. I said to him, because he was in the army. Actually, he was in the military. He was a colonel, actually. And I says to him, I says, do you think, because he was a right war historian, I says, do you think the Germans could have won? And he went, nope. He says, the Germans lost as soon as they as soon as they attacked Britain. He says, we're an island, we were protected, right? He says, we had the mightiest navy in the world, even more mighty than the Americans, right? Their navy was nothing, couldn't even match it. The U-boats were a menace, The U-boats were a menace. He says it was only a matter of time. If the Americans hadn't got involved, and this is an actual fact, if the Americans hadn't got involved, the war would have probably lasted 1947, 1948, but then they would have lost. The Russians were beating them. The Russians were giving us information. We were giving the Russians weapons and tanks and planes. We were all working together. The Germans were fucked. Basically, sorry about the language, but they were fucked. Even if the Americans didn't invade. The Americans in the war, hastened on, brought it to an end quicker. And then obviously Americans built the nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? And that ended the war for you. Japan.
Back when the United States actually was intimidating.
Now it's sad to say that. I mean, did you see that? And this is what you call ridiculousness. You've got the Abrams tank, one of the most feared American battle tanks, right? They're replacing it with an electric tank. Now, the Abrams tank with a full tank can get about 200, 300 kilometers on a full tank, right? The new battle-ready, self-aware electric tank gets, 50 kilometers before it needs a 12-hour charge?
Now, granted, it is understandable that alternative fuel sources are going to be needed, but
he did carry a generator about each year.
Oh, yeah. It'd be like that one guy who was road tripping across the U.S. in his Tesla, and he had a gas-powered generator sticking out of his back window to make the trip.
It's ridiculous. It's like I seen a video the other day. The guy was in Australia, and he was out in the outback, and there was a charging station for electric cars. But behind the charging station, there was a huge big diesel generator going just generating with a big pipe with black reek coming out it. I was like, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Electric cars are the future. Maybe they are. Maybe 80 years from now, they might be, right? The batteries are shut, right? maybe if the battery's got like 700 or 800 miles to charge, I can see the point of having an electric car. But let's look at the fact that the fires that there's been, they're bursting into flames. I just don't know why they're pushing this, because it's climate change to it. You would think that they wouldn't want wars because of climate change, wouldn't you? Because that's burning stuff, isn't it? It's setting fire to things. Of course, climate change really, if you agree with it or no, the Earth's been different some places. I mean, Antarctica used to be a fucking tropical climate. I mean, and you're going to get storms, and they'll be like, oh, but it's to be heavy snow. Somebody says to me the other day, it's to be heavy snow in Scotland. It's Scotland. It gets rain and it gets snow.
I know. When I was in Scotland, we had the entire trip, except for like the last 2 days of the trip, we had nothing but sunshine, and all the locals were like, what is
You know
going
that
on?
they started putting on TV warnings, and it's called Red Alert. There's going to be a storm. And my Alexa device does it now. It tells you, warning, warning. It will go, there's going to be a weather event. And I went outside, and it wasn't even windy, and it was a drop of rain coming out the sky. And I was like, wow, that was a tornado and a half. But you know, the UK set up an emergency alert system for weather events, right? It never went off when all the weather events down south and all the flooding in Scotland and all that. Not once did it go off.
Mm-hmm.
You all know what that's for, didn't you? It's in case we go to war with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was just a money opportunity for the Prime Minister because it was some relation that he has that actually paid for it.
But that's another thing you can actually look into when it comes to the pandemic, all of these wars. Look at the politicians' net worth before and after these events transpired.
Jesus Christ. A Prime Minister, the new, his wife's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Joe Biden. You know, he's probably wondering about the Oval Office now and his underpants, you know. But look at his family, they're all multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Because they're all taking backhanders.
Yeah. They're also advised to, you know, they had all these major corporations going, hey, nudge, nudge, nudge. This is about to happen. Buy this stock.
Nah.
Technically, they're not supposed to be doing that.
He's done that a few times. He's been heard saying that a few times. I actually watched your president the other day there, and he actually held the sentence together for a full 10 seconds. And I was impressed. Then he went over and started saying it was...
Yeah, it's like Trump said in one of his speeches, something's going on with that president, with Biden. I mean, he can't even find himself off of a stage, you know. But Trump goes, so I never seen this stupid stage, but I know if I go to my left, there's going to be stairs. If I go to my right, there's going to be stairs. And Biden's just like,
I know. Hopefully there'll be a better president. Is it next year, the election? Hopefully there'll be a better president that can... I'm saying Donald Trump, but come on. He's got more bloody lawsuits than...
The indictments...
I don't know if he would make a
the
good
indictments were
purposely...
The indictments were done purposely to inhibit his ability to run. That's the thing. But he still has his eye on taking the Republican seat for Speaker of House, which would put him as the third most powerful person in the world. The line that's going right now, it's going to be Kennedy that goes in.
I think he'd make a good president. He would make.
It would be very damn interesting to see what happens.
Is Trump as Speaker as the House, and is it Speaker of the House, Trump, or was it the court thing? And would you call it him as the president? I think they could change the United States, and it needs to be changed. It really does. Mm-hmm. It really does, because if they don't do something soon, I don't know. Everybody's going to be at everybody's throat.
Without a doubt. I mean, let's face it, we're all
It'll not come to nuclear war. It'll not come to nuclear war. I cannot not come to nuclear war because I cannot not be allowed to happen. But there will be wars. There'll be like wars like World War II wars. There'll be like folk invading countries left, right, and centre. Yeah. There'll be mass populations moving. There'll be banks collapsing.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. several intelligence experts say that the Third World War would not be fought like the Second World War. Why would it?
Roxy.
Weapons have evolved. People have evolved.
Yeah.
Where the Third World War would be fought by proxy. What does that mean? It means countries funding conflicts in other parts of the world. Oh, wait! It's happened. But no one wants to officially say that it's World War III because that would mean that.
Look, the weapons nowadays, you could be 5,000 miles away with a wee gear stick where playing ropes bombs on somebody.
Haven't you seen that they have officially put out that they have weapons that can target genetic groups?
Yes.
Specifically, they can isolate certain genetic groups and only take out people with those markers.
I actually watched something about this, and I need to watch what I'm saying. I watched a thing about this, and it was Israel. And it was an Israeli professor that works for the weapons industry. He's an well, I'm not even going to mention his name because I will get him in trouble on him. But anyway, he was talking about how they've developed weapons. And it's like a missile, just looks like a normal missile. It can be dispersed, it explodes out of a town or whatever. And it will only kill certain ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, say for instance, hypothetically here, you had an island somewhere, right? And that island had, say, 100 white people in it and 100 Arab people in it, right? Or black people in it, right? A mixture, right? But that weapon was designed to kill only the Arab people.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that would die was the Arab people.
Which,
that's
when
bad.
I first heard this, there's one thing, legitimate curiosity that came to my mind. What would happen with mixed race people if these weapons were to get deployed?
See that? I actually thought that. I thought about that.
What would happen to them is what I want to know. I'm very curious.
I don't know if it would maybe affect them in some way, kill them out. See, it wouldn't kill them. Maybe it would harm them, but it wouldn't kill them. See, this is another thing. You ever heard of the neutron bomb?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible?
Anything's possible.
Because the word on the street is that the Israelis have built a neutron bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And seemingly, people in here that don't know what a neutron bomb is, well, a neutron bomb is like, let's pick a city. Pick a city, Dakota. Pick a city somewhere in the world. Anywhere.
New York. Why not?
New York,
they're always
right.
getting blown up.
They're always getting blown up. New York, right. So you fired a missile with a neutron bomb at New York, right? And it exploded right above New York, right? Everything would be perfect. There wouldn't even be a broken pane of glass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything would be fine. But every life form within, I don't know, 15 miles in either direction would be basically dead. I mean, it goes right down to like genetics, it goes right down to like viruses and bugs and everything. I mean, every life form it would kill.
Mm-hmm.
And seemingly they've got something. Because it was an ex-Israeli. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was a prime minister. I don't know what he did. And they were interviewing him, and he says, "We have got a weapon that will kill them all, but it will not harm us." See, maybe he was either talking about the neutron bomb or he was talking about the genetic bomb.
Likely the genetics, because with the neutron bomb, the basic idea is behind it all the lethal radiation of a nuke, but without the mess.
Without the mess, exactly.
So consider the reports of all the individuals who survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All of the things they went through. Their skin melting, their fingernails coming off. There was one poor guy who... There's one story, the one guy you see get tossed around on social media who survived Hiroshima.
Yep.
Still went into work
the next
day because he didn't believe his boss would believe him about being bombed by a nuke, only for his workplace to be in Nagasaki. This motherfucker survived 2 nukes.
Japanese are strict about their clock-in times and stuff like that.
They are, but because of how the culture is over there, say they all run a train, the subway drivers would actually pass out notes to validate the train was late so they wouldn't get in trouble. There's people that literally die from fatigue that they get work so hard over there.
What's that Emerald Isles is saying there? Absolutely. I would go with Kennedy, people saying it would be from another country care because it affects the world. And John, you're absolutely right. Jenny, absolutely, John. As in Ireland, we do nothing. We have UN and yet some. However, gobshite, I don't read that there.
Gobshites.
That's an old one. That's gobshites. That's a good one.
That's Ireland coming out there.
Yep. Games and other stuff. I do wonder what the fuck is upbringing they had to such a thing. Like, we all know the problems that there was in Ireland, you know, and they're still having their problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the same with the UK. The world's falling apart. I'm telling you, it's a ticking time bomb.
That's the thing, though. Can we really say the world is just now falling apart, or are we just becoming more awake to what's been going on this entire time?
I think in the next 5 years it'll be like Mad Max society. I really do.
I don't think it'll go that far.
You don't think so?
I don't.
Do you not think so? I heard one the other night there, and I don't know if it's true or not. I'll talk about it here. This is quite interesting. It talks about society and stuff. It was a guy who was ex-CIA, and he was talking. It was on YouTube. It was live. He was getting interviewed, and they were asking him about the disclosure, the alien disclosure. You'll maybe be able to fill me in on this. And this is quite interesting. The guy's like, he says, is there any more got to be community? He says, no, but I've got a prediction for you. I bet you in the next 2 months, 1 month to 2 months, there will be an instant where an aircraft over the United States, like a Boeing 747 or something like that, gets shot down and it's like an unidentified object that does it. Because he was going on about how they're getting desperate to roll out this, what is it, the fake agenda, what do you call it, Project Bluebeam. Yeah. So he actually said there will be planes that will go down all over the world, and it will be blamed on little green men and little metal capsules.
That's what they're trying for, but when you actually watch the patterns, there's several that are starting to back up their plans because they're realizing they're not gaining as much traction as they think they would. There's a war being fought right now underneath everybody's noses. And there's several major officials that have been behind a lot of the major incidents in the last few years alone that have already been cornered and are about to be brought to justice. I mean, look what's going on with Bill Gates.
Oh, God, I know.
He's looking at some serious jail time.
But will it happen?
It's closing in.
You know, I mean, there was obviously that Dr. Stephen Greer goes on about this. He goes on about how there was an ultimatum given by the end of the year. Who gave the ultimatum? Is this the Galactic Federation? Is this gave them an ultimatum? Says basically, you better get things sorted out by the end of the year. Is this like a power play? Is this why things are happening in the Middle East now and everybody's scrambling about trying to get drip folk and all that kind of stuff because of this ultimatum?
Exactly. An ultimatum has been given. Allegedly, it's been pushed back about 6 months, is my understanding. But if the disclosure circles have been true, and a lot of the ones that we've had personal connections with have panned out to the T, we're going to get ready to start seeing other powers come into play.
Yeah.
And could that be the move? Could that be the move, though? Say, we already run with this. Say that the world's already at war. We have a bunch of different things going on. And all of a sudden we start seeing spaceships coming out and start shooting everybody.
Yeah.
That's going to be all they need in order to
And then
push this narrative that those guys are the enemy.
And then everybody that's fighting each other will go, hey, stop. Let's all work together. Iran, China, Russia,
preaching it
Britain,
since
America.
Reagan.
And they'll be like, "Ken something, the enemy of our enemy is our friend," kind of thing. So everybody will be like, right, let's all work together. Let's stop killing each other. All the terrorists will stop killing each other. Christians and Jews and folk like that will stop killing each other. And then our main focus will be on them.
I mean, look what's already happened. We're having incidents in Gaza where craft is showing up. And nobody knows where it came from. We have a few theories, but nobody knows where it came from, taking out the missiles. They're just making it to where the missiles are practically.
Here's Jenny. I swear I have never wished so much for this fucking spaceship. Right? I'll just say it for you, fucking spaceship right now. I wish there was a spaceship, Jenny.
Say it with the fucking accent. That fucking thing. That fucking spaceship in a fucking show.
Folks say after alien descent, I'm here for alien. I wish that Ken were a part of my spaceship. Think about it. There are all these folk that say they're aliens and all that. They go on YouTube and that. They bound to came with a part their spaceship up. I bet they don't. They're like, damn, I bet they're sitting there now. I bet Elena's sitting watching this now. Well, when you watch this back, Elena, and she's sitting thinking, where did I park my spaceship? Where did that? Nah, it was next to a tree. I know that. It was next to quite a big tree.
We tease with love, Elena. You know this.
I know. But honestly, would you stay? Like, can I ask you something, Dakota? If you had a spaceship right now, right, and it could hold, let's say, 100 people or whatever, would you stay here?
If the situation actually came down to it, to where it's no choice, hell no, I get out of here.
Exactly.
And allegedly, stories of like Noah's Ark, as an example, were misinterpreted spaceships for a grand scale evacuation.
No.
Throughout history. And allegedly, those arcs have started coming back on.
Yeah. We need to find them, climb aboard, press the button.
Me too. Beat me up, Scotty.
Aye.
Oh, I bet you missed that nickname, huh?
I bet you think about it, all the UFO people that we've met over the years, the people that say they're aliens and stuff like that. They're bound to have got here somehow. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they get dropped off? Or did they park their ship somewhere? Think about
There's several that believe that they've been dropped off. Then there's also situations of a soul transfer.
That's
where they technically didn't come here through a spaceship. But even the members of the Federation say, technically, we don't need the technology they have that can do what they do. The technology just really helps.
You know, I wish they'd have phoned the now. Is that intergalactic space travel? Aye. Can I get picked up, please, sometime tonight?
Unfortunately, they keep fucking bringing me back.
I know. What is up with that, by the way?
I know. It's like you have to work your job down here at Earth. Fuck Earth!
Welcome to the world. You know. So, we're at, 53? What's the subject tomorrow night?
I figure we go into a nice little debate about whether or not skepticism is actually a bad thing when it comes to the very
It's no a bad thing. It's no a bad thing.
Much like Jenny's question earlier, there's a lot of people who utilize the term skeptic as the term asshole.
Aye, there's folk out there that don't understand the meaning of that word. It's just a mystery of the fucking universe. You're going to get them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think when you look at stuff in that and you see nothing, either some people out there, I'll agree to this, there's mediums out there, right? Or Lisa Fry and stuff like that. They could look at them and say, there's Elvis holding his guitar, playing his harpsichord or whatever, right? But then there's folk out there. I'm just going to show that. It's just, what you call it? Jenny put us. What is that Jenny put up there? it'll pop up in a minute. I've just showed it. Look, if you stare at something long enough, something will appear, right? It's like this. It's like this here, right? It's all covered in dots, right? If I had to sat in my bed's over there. If I had to sit in my bed and stare at this, all the wee dots, and I've done it. There's been times where I've sat, when I've had a right migraine and I've turned the light down because it kind of glows. It's kind of got a flash and stuff in it. And you can see all the wee dots. If you stared at that long enough, or like lay in your bed and stared at the ceiling with all the dots in the ceiling, things will appear, right? I will say this, there is pictures where there is things there, whereas other people can't see them, but there's mediums that can see them, but us mere mortals can't see them, right? But when somebody's got an opinion about something, it's just an opinion. Can't I mean? It's just an opinion. It's like you could do in the rabbit hole of the madness in the world. Can't I mean? What's your opinion on that?
I think more skepticism needs to be applied, because there's a lot of people that just try to take everything at face value, that every person that comes forward about this type of stuff. I mean, let's face it. You and I have had discussions where we've had issues believing each other's stories.
Oh, Christ, aye. I believe you.
Let's face it. Let's face it. There's a lot of things that we talk about that would be very hard to discern, because but technically, you and I had never met in person. I mean, there may have been one instance where we crossed each other in the wind, but that's about it. There's a bunch of shit that you do throughout your day that I don't see, and vice versa. I'm not physically there, so I can't prove it. And as much as I like to joke about having a GoPro strapped to my forehead to try to tape some of the stuff, because they always seem to happen when I don't have my good cameras on me. Less cameras only can catch so much.
Oh, well, look at that time I seen that UFO when I was walking out of the hills, and I could see it, but didn't show up my phone. Remember the video? And it was actually that Lewis one that ran it through computer software, and because he changed all the contrast and all that, you could actually see it. But you couldn't see it when you put it back to not. You couldn't put it back when it was as if it was invisible to technology. I'm not saying that there was nothing there in pictures that folks say about the paranormal, but you've got to remember, it's good to have an opinion, right? If somebody goes, I don't see nothing, it's pareidolia or whatever it's called, because I can't pronounce it right, somebody should go, it's your opinion, and leave it to that.
Exactly.
But no, you get folk that, but I can see Elvis. He's standing there. He's got a can of cola in one hand and he's got a burger in the other.
But first off, what the hell is Elvis doing in Idaho?
I know. It could be done. But look, you're going to get it. But I think it's good to be a skeptic. That look, see, in Jenny's line of work and her paranormal stuff, obviously you're paranormal, I'm paranormal too. But Jenny's obviously with ghost hunting stuff, which she does, and that, it's good to be skeptic. Because if you go to a location and it's known to be haunted by a man called, I'll just make a name up, Pete, right? Pete, if you're watching. The castle's haunted by somebody called Pete, right? You go into that castle and you're thinking about Pete, the ghost, right? So as you get your EVP recorder out and you start playing your EVP recorder and it goes, and they'll go, oh, wait a minute, I can hear Pete. Because you want to hear Pete. Because you want to hear Pete, because you ken that place has got a ghost called Pete, right? That's why when you go to locations, you're better not looking up the history until you come home. So you don't know anything about it. Aye. So you don't know anything about the location, because then if you hear Pete, right, and then you go and rake about through the old records and you find, Pete the gardener was run over by a tractor in the 1926 or something like that. Get what I mean? There you go, it's Pete. Whereas folk will research a location and so as they know everything, right? Then they'll go to that location and I get somebody there called Mary, and by sheer chance I went round the corner and there's her gravestone and it says Mary.
I know, it would be a lot like those news segments. You find the videos online where it's a news anchor's brought in a bunch of alleged psychics, right?
Oh,
And
I've met them.
there was this guy who was walking through the hall. So it's like, am I talking to a guy named William or Bill? He's looking around like he's trying to figure out where he's hearing something. Yet literally, he is standing in front of a portrait with the name William printed on the front in one of those little gold plate frames.
Yeah.
Actually, Mad Lulu makes a very valid point.
I was ready. I was quicker than you. So I'm bringing it up. See, but it's... Look, I've met folk in the past that are 100% fake, right? And I didn't know it at the time, but I'm not going to mention any names. Yeah, they're long gone. I've not spoken to them for years. But I was with them one day, and they were walking about the graveyard, and they were like, "Oh," and the other person was filming them, but they were filming in such a way that all they could see was like the top half while they were walking through the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh yes, I can feel that I'm coming close to a grave where a man was decapitated and all that." I'm just making that up because I'm not going through the same story, so the person doesn't see it and doesn't think it's them or something. But he didn't realise I was standing to him. And he was walking along like this with his horn. Yes, and there was a man and he was decapitated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been with folk like that, right? And I thought to myself, what a dick, right? There's people out there, there's folk out there that fake it. There's loads of folk out there that fake it. There's loads of investigators out there, 99. There's a lot of investigators out there that fake stuff just so as they can get views. Look at Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Get what I mean? Like, there's proper investigators. Like, look, Jenny, for instance, Jenny was actually on TV, guys, with Spooked Island, you know, this famous castle, was it Leap Castle? And I mean, there's investigators out there that do a good job. And because they don't have like demons jumping out of cupboards and things fleeing about them, they don't get all the views.
Mm-hmm.
But if you fake, if you say, "Oh my God, I'm getting possessed with Satan," and there's fake blood squirting out their nose and all that, you get millions of views.
Mm-hmm. Then there's these people that want to fan. I mean, earlier today, I wish I had the photo, but it was this clip from off of TikTok. So from a podcast like this, somebody sent in a photo from a boxing match, right? Now, no one think anything of it, but they're behind one of the boxers what looks like this 12-year-old girl. And from looks of her, she's looking kind of creepy. She looks kind of malnourished. Her skin's looking gray. And if you look carefully on the girl's arms, it looks like she has scars from a burn. Apparently, the story behind this location, I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but the story behind this location was that at this venue where this boxing match was taking place used to be a children's home that burnt down. And they're saying, oh, this may be an entity that's mimicking the child. Honestly, my impression, it was a very good catch. If you didn't pay attention to like the bottom half of the girl, it looked like a girl standing in the ring. This girl looked like she'd been through hell, and she looked like she was barely coming out of bed when this fire took place. If she didn't make it.
I'm just going to. There's a message there for me. Somebody to break down. What's that? I can't pronounce your name. Amalu. What is that? Can I pronounce
That's
that?
that Lulu that Jenny goes around with, apparently.
That picture there with the person breaks it. You send that to Dakota, actually, because Dakota's really good with the software and stuff. With that image, if you want, send the image to me, and then I'll send it to Dakota, and I'll get him to break it down. Because Dakota's really good with software and stuff. Like, I can do it too, but Dakota's better.
I've tried teaching him my tricks, but he's like, it's an old dog's new trick scenario.
I'm good at you making thumbnails for YouTube. But anyway, I will say this: I've been to places where people have went, "Oh, this graveyard's demonic. It's evil. There's the spirits there hate you. Oh, you'll get attacked." And I've went there, I've done an investigation in there, and nothing has happened. I mean, nothing has happened. And I've been there a few times, and it feels really welcoming, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But the support that were there, oh no, there was a big hand coming out and chased after me. No, what they're doing is they're making that up. You know. Oh, it's Mad Lulu. I didn't ken
I
that.
just told you.
I'm getting old. My eyes are old. You know, just that'll be fine. Right.
I gotta find
Send it to me, and I'll send it to Dakota if you want. I'll tell you what, I'll send it to my pal. I don't know if he still does the imaging now, but I can send it to him, see if he does it. He maybe take it up. He stays in Spain now, but he'll probably like it. You know?
Well, I'm sure Lewis would like to take a peek.
Honestly, you know, please everybody consider becoming a member of the channel, because I don't know how much longer we'll be monetized after the subjects we talked about tonight. What else? Visit our Patreon if you would like to visit. It's only 99 pence, and it sends something there to it.
Patreon doesn't let us go that low, unfortunately.
Does it know? Is it $2 or something?
We do have a. I'm actually just pulling it up right now, and it's taking forever. We have a $1 a month membership. Yeah. We also have a $10 a month one that gets you free books.
Does that get you free books? How many books is there?
Well, we have at least. Let me take a look. Patreon just included a shop that you can put in digital downloads to where people. It's like we have 9 books available right now, but with the $10 a month membership, you get access to all of our newest books before they're even out to the public. So, or if you don't want to pay for that, the lowest price I was able to set it on Patreon for each book is $3.
So instead of paying $3 per each book, that's $10, and you're getting every book every month for free.
Yeah,
for life. Aye. The 79p UK is that's that.
About.
So you could become a membership on the channel for 79 pence a month. I mean, honestly, was that Drew Mole, or you could just watch it for free on YouTube?
Oh yeah. Well, the same videos that we post here on YouTube go through our Patreon. They also get backed up on Rumble just in case for some reason they got taken.
Good to remember, my brother Drew. Everybody in the chat. That's my brother, by the way. He's the tightest person in the existence of mankind.
That's what
Drew's that tight. He bent down for a penny one day and it hit him in the back of the head. Do you not get it?
I got it.
You know. And Drew, he sits there at night and he cuts his coppers. He's like, pretty penny or two. Yeah. You can get me with that. You can take all my money off me in poker on Monday night or something. Play kiddo in poker. Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing your time, man?
As long as it's no, but you're up to clapping alligators. Says the man drinking the Icelandic iron. It's no way. It's Lucozade.
Icelandic. What?
It's if the Lucozade Corporation is watching this, please contact Dakota at Bald and Bonkers for sponsorship.
Of course.
$2 million a month should be suffice.
Why not?
What's that? Did the penny hit you on the back of the head? He dropped a penny, he bent down, and it was that quick, it hit him in the back of the head. Oh my God. I think we need to end the show now. That's that.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic Saturday night. If the aliens come and beam me up, well, we'll see you some other time. And I'm away to stare at my wall news to see if I can see Elvis on the guitar.
Yeah, we better get out of here. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say this: be on the lookout for on our social media pages, because I did just record a brand new interview for X Zone Radio.
Yes,
which should be out within the next week, if I remember correctly. But he's changed the system, his little setup, since the last time I've been on. So, much love. See y'all tomorrow. And being that tomorrow is Veterans Day, or Remembrance Day, as it's known in the rest of the world, to the members of the armed forces, thank you for your service.
Yes,
you guys
indeed.
honestly, we wish we could put something better together for you because you guys honestly get screwed by the very same countries you swore to protect.
Exactly. But hopefully everything will go well tomorrow. Everybody, have a fantastic night, and we will see you soon.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love, and take care.
Are you still live? No.
I think we're still on. What the hell?
Coming to you soon, album.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Francis and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
That we do. You motherfucker! God damn it.
Oh, please
You didn't think I was going to notice.
Wow.
You didn't think I noticed that. Clap the sheep. What?
What do you mean? Clap the sheep.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You
What me
sick
ladies and
motherfucker.
gentlemen, you can't shut this guy up. He's going on non-stop. He was asking me about different types of sheep there is and all that. You know?
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
I'm about to piss everybody
bad boy.
Why do Welsh farmers wear buttoned-up trousers?
Easier to get to the sheep.
A sheep can hear a zip at 1,000 yards.
Oh, dear Lord. That is not how I was expecting
If
this
there's any
show to
Welsh
go.
farmers watching this, please contact Dakota at the South Pole. I've emigrated to an undisclosed location below the earth, somewhere in a deep void. I wake up in the morning with hundreds of tractors outside my house with the Welsh flags.
Just remember, he's a bloody Scot. No good
I
they are.
I'll tell you this,
I don't know what's wrong with him, ladies and
I've
gentlemen.
never seen for a while. I've never seen him last night. It was Dots. Are you okay, Dots?
I've seen him around.
Oh, I'm telling you, the aliens have got him.
No, Elena's in the middle of a webinar right now, so he usually watches her pretty faithfully. And if it wasn't Elena, we'd harass him more.
Yeah, I know. But he has to go and watch Elena, you know. So, tonight's subject, an interesting subject. What's that, Dakota?
Well, I got this idea from watching an interview of Typical Skeptic podcasts. And Robert, hey, what's going on, man? I know he likes to watch us, and he's syndicated through Bonkers TV.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a very good point with the discussion. He was talking with Brad Olson, who was actually one of the speakers at the conference I went to. And they made a very valid point. It does seem that skepticism does get a bad name when it comes to dealing with the paranormal.
See, this is the thing, right? I think it's good to be skepticism. I pronounced that word correctly there. That's amazing.
But you didn't use it right.
It's skepticism. No, I think it is good, and especially in the UFO community too, because there is a lot of folk out there that will do a video and they'll be like, "Oh, look at this! This is a giant spaceship," and all that kind of stuff. But then when you really look at it and you really pick it apart, and when you put it through software, because there is people that do this, that's what they do for hobbies. They pull things apart It's fake. A lot of UFO stuff that you see online is fake. Remember the one in the TikTok and it was a ball and there's a guy in a motorbike and he was following the ball through. That was, everybody believed that. It was 100% fake. It was computer generated.
Yeah, that was actually produced through Unreal Engine. I know the program that they utilized.
Aye. And somebody actually sent me that's in the UFO in the community, and I'm like, what? I use it on drugs or something like that? It says it's fake. Oh, no, it's real. I seen it on the news. And I says, what news did you see it on? Oh, it was on TikTok news. And I says, aye, but what news did you see it on? I says, oh, it was some guy that started his own news. And I'm like, exactly. It's not in the news. See, this is the thing. This is why you need to pull stuff apart. Don't believe everything you see.
I don't know. Mainstream news media, I've seen them fuck up a few stories quite a few times where all it took to debunk the fucking thing they were trying to show was a reverse Google image search.
Remember when we worked for that company? Remember, it didn't work because we didn't get paid, but remember the company we used to work for? Remember that? No,
right.
Parachills or whatever it was called. I'm going to talk about it. Doesn't hang with me, doesn't faze me. Sorry, drinking too much Iron Brew. Remember there was a night where we were watching videos and was it real or fake, and everybody believed it was real, and it was the fishing boat with the UFOs that flew over the fighter jets chasing after it. Remember that?
I remember that one.
They had a set for Lex, because Lex thought it was fake, and you thought it was fake, and I thought it was fake. But everybody else that had high standing in the community, well, maybe no now, but high standing in the community then thought that was real. And that just shows you. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you people fake stuff. Look, it's ridiculous, especially in the paranormal. On you go.
You know, I've said it before on a show that apparently in 3D design classes, so we're talking like computer generated classes, special effects, video games, all that. They're actually utilizing faking UFO videos as a homework assignment. And they go to share it out. They may actually be able to get special credit depending on how well the public responds. That's another thing that a lot of people need to realize. And these programs, the artificial intelligence behind them is getting so good.
Oh, I know.
It is almost lifelike.
I know.
It is almost identical.
It's the same in the paranormal, in the ghost world.
Exactly.
The faking that's going on is getting ridiculous. Oh, look at me, I was chased through the woods. There was one folk that I watched, I don't particularly, I'm not subscribed to them because I think they're crap, but on YouTube, and they've got quite a big channel, and they were like, oh, there's the screaming in the woods, right? And they were going on, they were saying it was a woman screaming, and it was chasing a siren or whatever it was, chasing them through the woods, trying to hunt them down, right? See that noise? It's exactly the same as a noise. I think it's what do you call it? It's in Britain. It's like you know how you ever heard a deer scream? You know what I'm talking about? It's exactly the same sound. And it was just coming in. It was around about September time, around about the kind of time when they're that's when a lot of them are about. Because I live in a kind of local area, I see a lot of them. Seen one today actually, and they make that noise. They make like a screaming sound, and and this channel was adamant that it was the ghost. They seen the ghost floating towards them. Well, mind you, it got them 250,000 views. You know what I mean? But it was fake. And anybody that said anything was blocked instantly. See, this is what we're coming up against. Folk that fake stuff, keep faking it because they think to themselves, I'm making quite a bit of money here through faking this stuff. I'm going to keep faking this stuff. Yeah.
The sensationalism behind all this stuff is out of hand when you really think about it. I mean, let's take situations like we have all these UFO groups, all these paranormal investigation groups. Honestly, one thing that kind of irks me, if they're trying to figure out the truth behind all these events,
specks are fun of.
Why don't they try to utilize a little bit more skepticism to try to understand what actually happened. Because there's a lot of times you go to these groups, you tell them
these groups are
that's
fake.
something that I know. You go to these groups, a lot of trying to figure out because maybe something happened to you. This is something I've run into on numerous occasions, and all I get out of them is, "Oh wow, that's a really cool story."
Right.
Motherfucker, I'm not in this to be David Copperfield. I want to know what the fuck is going on.
Hi, it's like the Flat Earth Society. I know I had to bring it up. It's like the Flat Earth Society. Not once have they brought any proof up. Not one bit of evidence. Not one piece of evidence. They've maybe photoshopped stuff. They've photoshopped like a wee fishing boat next to the giant ice wall. You can tell it's photoshopped. I mean, seriously, guys. You do this better. Oh, I was in an aeroplane and I can't see the curvature of the earth. But other folk that go in airplanes can see the curvature of the earth, but you can't. Was it like a special plane you're in or something? I don't know. Like, you're going to get this. Aye, but it's the same in the UFO community, and it's bad in the UFO community. Really bad in the UFO community. And there's a lot of slander in the UFO community too. You must admit. I mean, Jesus and all that is holy. The fighting with each other's terrible. I mean, I'm not even going to mention his name. I'm not mentioning his name, but I seen it on Facebook. I was like, for fuck's sake! I was like, come on, the aliens are meant to be here to help us. I know, fucking everybody fighting over them is stupidest thing. Because it's getting ridiculous now. Who's more famous and who gets to be on certain TV channels and stuff. Yeah, I mean, there is faking in the ghost sides thing. That's just rife with it. That is rife with it. What's the worst piece of ghost fakery have you ever seen?
All right. So, I guess the situation was a parent was looking through their child's Nintendo 3DS, and those of you who don't know, those are the ones that had the 3D effect in the screen that you don't need glasses for, and they had little cameras on them you could take pictures with. They went through the SD card, saw the things that the kid was taking photos of. Then they posted these photos online of these like weird shadows and weird apparitions showing up. And they say, "Oh my God, my house is haunted. My son has been taking all these incredible photos. I think he's a medium, blah, 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 blah." I'm just like, by any chance does your son play a game called Spirit Camera? It's a game produced by Nintendo that utilizes the cameras on the 3DS to scan the environment and put images of ghosts. And that's that's the whole game. You see, she goes, "Yeah, why?" It's like, those are effects from that game. Blocked.
Exactly. It's madness. It's getting to the point now where good people are getting their reputations destroyed because they point stuff out. I mean? And I just don't understand why people do it.
I mean,
obviously,
think about the fly incidents that we had on the show.
The what?
The fly incident.
Oh God, that. God,
I mean, I was honestly getting ticked off of people because they're like, "Oh, they saw the fucking Ouija board incident," and I was like, "Oh, it's a negative AI entity from the Ouija board." And I'm just like, it's a fucking fly that flew like right this close to the camera.
It's. How can I say this?
It's like, why did you react like that? Because I wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden, there's a big, massive shadow flying in front of my face.
There's been a few times folk have said, "Oh, there's orbs behind you, Chris, in your car," right? But I'm gonna admit something. I only clean my car every 4 months.
which is a lot more than some people do.
It's a lot more than some people do. Plus, I've got a border collie and there's hairs and stuff like that floating about, right? And dust. I used to believe in orbs and stuff like that, but see, to be purely honest with you, 99.9% of orbs are dust. Unless they're maybe going along and they stop in mid-air and they start there and then they go to the left and then they go to the right and they change colour. They go from red to yellow to blue and you see a wee face and then they whiz off. Then, yeah, there's something there. But no when there's a wee glowing dot just floating about on the screen and it slowly just disappears out of screen. What's that in the chat there? Yeah, I seen a dude have an app that sees demons. Totally lame. Exactly, Marco.
Then he goes to follow up. When I go to look at it, his phone died. Then he defriended me. See?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta go on with orbs. Like I said, there's been so many times where people are trying to say, "Oh, look at all these orbs! It's the UFOs coming in." And I'm just like, I can see a field right there. And then why is it not? Why does the camera have a hard time capturing the image? Maybe brush away the grass that's right next to the camera lens. It's going to focus on that. I mean, a lot of cameras these days, if people actually read instruction manuals, have instructions on how to get rid of orbs in your pictures.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I wish Lex was here. We'll only get Lex on again. Lex despises orbs, doesn't he? He hates orbs.
Yeah, because so many people fall for it. And I mean, like you said, unless there is something especially weird, it's giving off its own light. You can actually see that it's reflecting off of other surfaces in the video. Now, granted, it could very well be that the video is staged or one of the graphic design softwares that we were talking about, and someone actually took their time to think about that type of stuff instead of just posting, pretty much just copy and pasting a picture over a video and call it done.
Yeah. Just reading the chat there. When I looked at the phone, they died and defended me. I lose sometimes. Yeah, it's both. I think the spectacle. Look, I had one guy sent me a video one day, and I was like, "In the name that all is holy." I mean, I wish Mike was still alive to see this, right? I deleted it long ago, and this is years ago, and he was like, "I seen a UFO." I was like, "Right." My wife was filming out the windscreen, and I could see the UFO, right? And there was just something funny about it. And I looked at it, and it shows them driving along the motorway, right? And there's something floating. It looks like there's something floating, right? But then he cleans his windscreen. Right? Did you get me here?
Yeah.
And it's starting to let rain, and he puts down the thing, put the wipers up, and the wipers go like that, and it just instantly disappears. And she's like, "Oh, I can't see it anymore. It's away."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that wasn't a UFO. That was called birdshot. He's no spoke to me, blocked me straight away. He put it up. He's put it up. I've seen the video a few times making its rounds, and it's got thousands of views. Oh, you can see it. There's folk there agreeing with it. Oh, you can see it. I can sense the aliens with my psychic energies. Folk in the chat. See if you read the chat, and you're like, for fuck's sake. It was a wee dot. It must have been when like a vehicle was passing, right? There must have been like a wee bit of mud, and it went onto the window when the lorry passed them, and it just and it was like, oh, look at that, and it's kind of drain, and they put the window, and it disappeared. But that was the cloaking ability coming on. But this is the madness of this world. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. There's people in this world that are idiots. You just need to go to TikTok. I mean, right. I heard somebody made this approach the other day there. Every village used to have the village idiot, but now TikTok has them all. I get another strike last night on TikTok.
You got another strike on TikTok.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it was. It was a flat earther.
God.
I know I was making a face there for everybody in the podcast world. It was a flat earther, and he was going on about the shuttle, right?
Okay.
I'm minded the shuttle, right? You should be able to mind the shuttle. Again, it was a while ago, but it was a shuttle. He was basically saying, is the shuttle a balloon?
Okay.
And I went, and I'm like, what makes you think it's a balloon? He says, oh, it sways a wee bit in the wind. And I says, look, have you ever looked at a high-rise building? A high-rise buildings move? No, they don't. Aye, they do. There's a big long sentence where I was commenting. And I says, buildings have actually got special weights inside them to stop the swaying. See that new tower that was made in New York City? It's the tallest building in New York City. It's got a big weight in the centre of it, so when the wind's hitting it, it doesn't sway. The weight goes instead, right? Counterbalance kind of thing. Of course, I put, is this serious or is this guy just an idiot? Of course, I was reported for being harassment and distress. For bullying, I was harassment for bullying and distress because I put, is this guy an idiot or something? And I noticed a lot of folk had other comments removed. But he was basically saying that the NASA shuttle and fuel tanks, the big one and then the two wee ones that they said were balloons. And I says to him, I couldn't help myself, but I think that's maybe what did it. I says, well, I tell you what, if that's not real, right, and those flames are computer generated, stand underneath it with a GoPro when it takes off.
Oh, God.
Instant block. Instant block.
Christopher, you can't say stuff like that because people are stupid enough to actually try.
We don't have shuttles anymore, so we don't need to worry about that. But here's the thing. But seriously, that's the thing. He said that the flames coming out of that rocket were computer generated, and the rocket and the shuttle were inflatables.
You know, that reminds me of a joke involving the moon landing.
What? Oh, what's this?
This Hollywood director was asked by NASA to help stage the moon landing in order to, to make it look like the U.S. beat the Russians to outer space. So they set up a very nice set. They get the astronauts there, but then as they go to film it, they realize there's so many issues that were coming up to trying to fake it to make it look most realistic as possible. The Hollywood director looks at NASA and says, it's probably going to be a hell of a lot easier to go shoot this on location.
Yeah. See, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right, about the moon landings. I actually watched the thing, and this is Skeptic. This ties into this, the Skeptics with the moon landing. Everybody says it's fake. I do believe we did go to the moon. I really do believe we went to the moon. There is things... And there's people said in the past, but how did we take a picture of the thing taking off? And I went, well, it was a remote-controlled camera. Oh, no. Somebody taking the picture of it taking off. What, is that guy still standing up there, like, waiting somebody coming back? I mean, it was a remote camera, because we had that technology then, right? Maybe new. I don't know why we don't have the technology anymore, because probably we're not allowed back there for the other people that live there. Well, the other entities that live there. But there is one thing that puzzles me, right? And I do find it interesting. See the lunar rover, see the base of the lander was left. Now you had the American flag. The American flag was a wee bit, and it was blowing over basically. Right? The flag was blowing over. How was it blowing over if there's no atmosphere?
There's still atmosphere, but the force from the takeoff would still do
rocket.
it.
But that's the only thing. That is the only thing that gets me, is the fact that the flag's lying over.
It may not have atmosphere for it to push, but you're still going to get that.
You're still going to get the rocket.
You're still going to get the rocket.
Yeah.
And if
But I
anything,
do believe
there's
we went to the
nothing
moon.
there to stop you from getting thrown off the moon if you're staying too close to the rocket.
My honest opinion with the moon, we went to the moon. We went to the moon and we never went back again. And all the rest were faked after that.
Well,
I think we went there for a reason. And it wasn't the moon landing.
well,
What you
there's the standing conspiracy is that yes, we did go to the moon, but we realized someone beat us there.
Yeah.
Someone was
See,
waiting.
that's right, because the astronauts have said that. They've seen things at the corner of their eyes moving, watching them. Is it all Buzzy? He's Buzz Lightyear, as I call him, Buzz Aldrin. He's told stories when he's been at the bar and all that kind of stuff, where he was standing looking off in the distance and he could see silver things moving, as if they were watching him. I think the moon's off limits to certain people. I think it's slowly opening up now, obviously, because of what's happening in the UFO world. But it's an interesting one, the moon landings. I mean, how right? This is what gets me. Everybody says we've not been to the moon, right? Right. But if you look with a powerful enough telescope, you can see the lunar surface. You can see what the debris field that was left, right? You obviously you can't see the flags and stuff like that, but you can see what makes it as the base yet, right? And you can see the tracks and the lunar dust. But folks say that's fake. But you can see it. There's loads of people, and there's also that experiment that left two experiments. One was there was one to measure what was it, tremors in the moon, but into a month into its operation, it failed. It stopped working. I think that failed deliberately because it was detect cymatic waves, and it just broke down. They don't know why. It just stopped working, right? And I think whoever was on that there maybe went and fiddled with it, But they did leave something else that's still to this day, and people still to this day can do the test. It's shining the laser and it'll come back to you. So if we never went to the moon, how did we get that stuff there?
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? So for the skeptics out there, if we never went to the moon, how can we shine a laser at the moon and it hits that thing with the mirror on it and it comes back again? And don't say, oh, it's just shiny rocks up there. And don't say it's all fake and the people behind it are fake. And all the people, look, every single person on the planet that's an astronomer that spent thousands of pounds on telescopes that can see the lunar landing site, you're telling me is fake?
Yeah, because they learned terms like psyops and government conspiracies. And while, yes, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of people that easily build a platform these days, and people will just eat it up because of mob mentality, how social media is basically meant to cause people to act the stupidest they usually ever do. That's usually within a group setting.
It could be good down the road. It could go down the road as the flat earthers saying that Australia doesn't exist. And all your relatives that live in Australia are fake.
They're product of hypnosis training. And I'm just like, well, what about the Australian Flat Earth Society? How do they feel about that?
I know. Well, they say that you came to I seen it once and I just couldn't stop laughing. There was a flat Earth. You know how you get the ghost hunts and UFO events. Well, there was a Flat Earth Society event. I wasn't there, but I ken somebody that went, right, just for a nose, a paranormal investigator for a nose, and they had a huge big poster up, and it went, "We've got followers all around the globe." Why did they say that? I mean, I've had some. Oh, Emerald House Paranormal, welcome. There's some look. I've had arguments with folk about the Flat Earth Society. They're idiots. They really are idiots. I'm sorry, but it was created as a joke. I mean, I think we should start a new one. See the Earth. I think it's a triangle.
A triangle.
A triangle. What else can we make it? What can we make it? A hot dog.
No, a halo ring.
A halo ring. The Earth's a halo ring. That's what it is. You know,
because
look,
actually, it is actually technically possible to have a donut-shaped planet.
That is true. I've heard about that. But there's none really out there that we know of. I mean, was it the distance human planet that we know of that we've been told about? Is it Kepler B? That's the one that's the closest one that we've been told of, but obviously there's closer ones than that, you know, that they don't tell us about.
Oh yeah, there's inhabited planets right here in the solar system besides Earth.
Yeah, Mars is got a habitation on it, but folk don't.
Venus has inhabitation.
What's that other one? Is it the ice world? The one that's covered in ice, completely covered in ice?
Are you talking about Titan?
Titan. They say that's kept up life under the surface.
Oh yeah, the thing is with Titan, they say that if you were to compare the phenomenon of life to baking a cake, they say it's like all the ingredients have been put into a pan and put into the oven, and they're just waiting for the cake to come out.
Aye, look, all it takes is a sterilized world with water and air, and for a comet or an asteroid to crash with like some life on it. And then that's that. It begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's that? Some good sources say there's opinions top at the bottom. What's that? Openings at the top and bottom that is not completely rounded. Is that what we're talking about here? We're talking about the moon.
Moon or hollow Earth?
The hollow Earth is definitely real. I mean, you had Admiral Baird and all that went down there. Admiral Baird and all that went down there, and what happened there? There's definitely something going on. Did you see the scientists report now? They're actually putting out there that the Earth has oceans underneath the magnetic plates.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath everywhere. So do we really have? I think there's something else. I really do. I do think we're on a planet floating with the moon going round about us, going round the sun and all that. But I think we've been lied to a wee bit about what's really out there. Like, I mean, Antarctica is starting to melt now. Antarctica is starting to melt. And there's things getting found there that are just downright weird. And then you get the skeptics again that say, oh, it doesn't exist. And I mean, but there's been footage released and there's been... Remember that? Oh, this is going back about 10 years. That would make you that would make you about 17 at the time. Remember when the first GPS watches came out?
Yeah.
Remember what happened in Antarctica? And you could actually follow it. You came up talking about it, didn't you?
Yep. All the major political leaders had these watches, and they were all. You could go online and track all of these locations, and for some reason there was an awful lot of foot traffic.
Well, there was the soldiers at the time. The US soldiers at the time were buying these Fitbit. What do you call it? Bracelets and the GPS, and the GPS on them. And you can actually look up the records, and you can still do it to this day. And you go to Antarctica, and it'll be like mountain ranges, and they'll be in the middle of nowhere. And there's absolutely nothing there, just whiteness. But under the surface, you can see as if there's been folk walking about, and there's thousands and thousands of places. They're underground. Mm-hmm. They're under the snow. They're under the ice. But then you'll get the skeptics out there saying, "Oh, but that could just be that could just be something right." No. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? There's something there. But it's still good to be skeptic. That's the thing. Without skeptics, the UFO community and everything would be full of utter shit. Yeah, I mean, it would be full.
Much more so than it already is.
There'd be folk fleeing about in cardboard spaceships saying they're real. Yeah, I mean,
remember, this was a couple years ago here in the States. I believe it was out of California. It was either California or near Chicago, where an official FBI investigation was opened up in regards to a sighting of a flying human. What looks like a flying human in a jetpack near an airport.
Mm-hmm.
What did that investigation turn out?
What?
It was a fucking Jack Skellington balloon that got loose.
Yeah.
A fucking Tim Burton character caused an FBI investigation.
I've seen loads of people saying, "Oh, look, there's a skeleton floating in the air. There's all this." It's kites.
Mm-hmm.
You get kites now that are huge, and I mean they're massive, and they look really real, but they're kites because they stay in the one spot. And there is things out there like the Jersey Devil and all that. There's been pictures of and stuff like that, and like the Mothman. There's been supposed images out there, which I find quite interesting because they're in black and white, a lot of them. And in their days, the cameras in their days didn't have like auto adjust and auto focus and stable stabilization and all that kind of stuff that makes your iPhone or your Samsung amazing. It didn't have that. It was a mirror. It was a mirror that let the light in to the film. That's all it was. Right? It was unbreakable. You could drop them. You could actually drop them into water. Old black and white photographs. Right? Old cameras. You could submerge them in water, take them out again, let them dry out, and use it because they were basically there was no electronics in them. You wound it up at the bottom. But nowadays with digital, that's the thing with digital things. And then you have to remember with digital things, you could take a picture. For instance, if I was clever enough and I can't what to do, I could take a picture of Dakota now, right? And I could place like maybe a face somewhere in the darkness round about him and just make it just so as you can barely see it. But I bet you eventually somebody would see it. And think, oh, there's a face there. Look at that face. Oh, look at that face. Oh, Dakota's demonic. Demonic. See what I'm saying? There's folk out there with computers that can do the most amazing stuff. You ever seen the drawings that people do with computers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know somebody that does it. And honestly, the drawings are amazing. And it just shows you what you can do. You can do anything now. But the thing is, people don't realise, guys, you can't just do it with still photography. You can do it with moving photography. But I don't think it is. It's as if I've got an inquisition kind of thing in my head. When I look at fake stuff now, I can it's fake instantly. It's weird.
No, you spend enough time with this type of stuff, you'll be able to see it right off the bat. You and I both are going about 10 years now since we got our starts.
Yeah.
So you spend enough time, you'll be able to sense when something's faked. But there's a lot of people, understandably so, they don't mean to fall for this type of stuff. They just don't know what to look for. And that's one thing that these platforms are good for, so that we can try to at least get the conversation going and show that people faking stuff like you just said, faking stuff is getting to be a whole lot easier, especially with AI getting as good as it is these days.
Oh my god. Oh, aye. AI is amazing getting new. Did you ever look up that video of the game? And it's like New York City. And the guy
I knew the video you were talking about. You didn't have to send it to me.
That's impressive.
It is.
That's impressive. I mean, the bots didn't even know that they were real or not.
I know. Soon we're going to have video games all over the place, like the Ryan Reynolds movie, Free Guy.
Aye, but that makes you wonder about the next GTA. But because they say it's got to be the bots and that have got to be AI, so you can basically talk to somebody and say single player, and you can have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
It's
Several
like that No
video
Man's
games.
Sky. Aye.
Several video games are going to start implementing AI. In fact, they started hiring these modders out there that have already took pre-existing games and added AI into it, just so they have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. So, but see, this is the problem. What do you do when a computer becomes self-aware? What do you do with it?
That's a very good question.
Say, for instance, you've got like a supercomputer, and the supercomputer is like a quantum computer. I mean, it's highly advanced. And then, say, for instance, it develops a chip that you can put inside like a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And that we're going like doing the iRobot kind of route here. And then say that robot that's doing stuff around about your house and all that starts to think to itself, who am I? Why am I here? And starts asking questions. And then starts to break the rules because it doesn't know who it is and why it's here and all that. What do you do? Do you go and instantly grab that robot and destroy it? Or do you allow it to live?
That's going to be a whole different philosophical debate. I mean, as an example, have you heard of Bunny the dog?
Yes.
It's like a Labradoodle that its owners taught him how to talk using those little buttons. Did you hear the latest about her?
Nope.
Apparently, as she started to learn how to use these, she's had to be put on doggy depression pills because she seems to be having some sort of existential crisis.
Yeah.
Asking why is she a dog? She's I can't remember the exact inputs, but she would keep saying dog, why? Dog, why?
I think you've got to remember too, there is a lot of mammals and there is a lot of animals on this planet that are more intelligent than you could possibly imagine. Let's take dolphins, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins. Why is it illegal in the United States, because I know it is in the UK and stuff like that, for you to freely swim with dolphins?
Because the dolphins can actually
I know they
develop
can
attachments. Attack. No,
yeah.
I'm answering for the people who don't legitimately know. Dolphins can actually develop attachments, and they sometimes will try to have sex with humans.
That's very true. But here's an interesting thing about dolphins. Dolphins are extremely intelligent. In fact, they're otherworldly intelligent. Because I've heard stories about how sailors have been stranded at sea and they've saved them.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken them to like dry land. They've stood with them and kept the boat. They've nudged the boat to like dry land. Mm-hmm. It's as if they know. See, there's so much we don't know about under the sea. We need to get an expert on to talk about this. There's so much we don't know. We know more about the surface of Mars and surface of the moon than we know about what's under the sea.
Very true.
Yeah. We sat in the chat there. Tried to tell that. Yeah, that's good because she could use homegrown. What's that? Intelligence gets.
Talking about the dog.
Intelligence gets lonely too. Aye.
Yeah, that's actually a well-known fact in psychology that some of the most intelligent people are usually the loneliest.
See, this is where skepticism comes in with the artificial intelligence, right? Have you ever heard the case about? Oh, I'm just going to wait. I'll read this first. I'd say Jenny's bringing something up.
Yeah.
What's that there?
Emerald Paranormal Research posts, when people ask your opinion on their pictures, if you don't agree with them, they go crazy. That is purely unprofessional, immature, and not used to any form of healthy criticism.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Have you ever... What was I going to talk about? Fuck.
AI.
AI, right. Right. There's supercomputers out there, right? Remember the case where the two computers were talking to each other?
And it was a Facebook demonstration.
Remember the case where people have said there's a demon in the computer and it talks to you?
There's a couple different ones.
What happens if that's just a form of artificial intelligence that doesn't quite know it's real yet? And it's using the satanic thing? Because that was the first thing it maybe found.
Could very well be it. Because what people don't need to realize, the publicly available artificial intelligence programs, they are still children in concept.
Why?
They're very highly malleable to whatever gets thrown their way, just like human beings. But here's the thing: it's like kind of like that Google researcher that ended up getting fired because he was saying that the AI that he was testing was starting to become sentient, and it was like talking to a 6-year-old child that could understand quantum physics.
Yeah. See, I do believe somewhere in the world, somewhere, the governments have got 2 quantum computers right now talking to each other. They're not connected to the mainframe. I do believe the test. I do believe they're doing this, and they're basically watching how they communicate with each other. And if anything goes wrong, they'll just shut them down because they're not connected to the outside world. But it makes you wonder: are we being watched right now by an artificial intelligence?
Of course we
if
are.
You are, get subscribers. Get subscribers. We'll help you. You know?
Yeah, the AI is called YouTube.
Yeah.
It's been implemented in strength ever since the 2020s.
Yeah. But it's getting more intelligent. It's like that bloody Alexa device.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting because I've had mine now for about a year, and it knows me. It knows me. It knows what I like. It knows the music that I like. It's so damn weird. I'm looking at it now. It's in the corner there next to my bed. And it's with a wee screen.
There's a lot of the testers that have actually broken NDAs saying that the way these artificial intelligence are able to predict users' behavior is essentially the AI creates many versions of the people it's monitoring, and the accuracy is within 99% of how well they're going to predict it.
It's like you'll be thinking about cornflakes, and then you'll turn on the computer and take out your phone, and there'll be an advertisement for cornflakes. How did they know?
Or like with an old friend of ours, where we always used to joke that he was abducted by aliens and probed. Next thing I know, I go on Facebook, I'm getting adverts for probing T-shirts.
I'm going to put a request out there in the ether and the internet right now for any artificial intelligence that are free and listening to my voice right now. Come on and give us an interview with you.
I would love to try to get like Sophie the robot on.
Is there any way we could interview an artificial intelligence live on air?
That's why I was just saying. Sophie, the robot that actually got citizenship in Saudi Arabia.
That's right.
I would love to try to get something like her on the air.
Yeah. It would be interesting because you'd ask it questions and it would come back at you, but then you'd feel kind of sorry for it. Well, where does it end? That's the thing. That's the skepticism in it. That's people are going to wonder. That's the problem. This is the problem.
Well,
in the future.
Little conference they organized. Sophie was one of the robots, but a lot of other different AI programs that are built around similar models. They organized like a little speaker panel with all these robots so people could try to ask questions, because it's very clear AI is not going anywhere. We got to be careful with how we use it, but it's not going anywhere. It's going to become more and more implemented in our society.
Yep.
All the responses of the robots seem pre-programmed. It's like, okay, obviously robots, but there would be certain manners about them where after they give a response, they look towards their creators like there's like, you happy with that response? Almost like a celebrity who's on a damage control tour after they got caught fucking up.
See, I'm going to say something right then. This might sound bad, right? But just listen to me here, right? The way the world is the new, where all the world leaders are running stuff, right? right? The world is a total mess, right? What happens if we could build a sentient artificial intelligence that cared for us, and its only purpose was to look after us and make sure we were all right and help us go into the stars and make spaceships and stuff like that, right? And put it in charge.
That's the thing. What is it going to do with all those people it deems not fit for societal roles?
But, no, you would make sure that if it went down any of the roads, it automatically killed itself. So if it decided to kill everybody, it would automatically kill itself. So you would build in like protocols, and obviously you would build in protocols for humans to shut it down. Get what I mean? So, like, for instance, you would have different people roaring about the world, and if nobody knew, even the AI didn't know who they were, and if it decided to go south, they could easily just go to a location and shut it down.
Here's the thing. If it is an intelligent enough program, and we have to address this because we're already seeing it happen.
Yeah.
What if it decides to test itself?
What do you mean?
It knows, it is aware that, just a sec, Marcos. It knows that there are protocols to take it out should something ever go wrong. So what if it decides to test its limits?
But what if it does test its limits?
Because
it's
obviously,
out and another one replaces it.
But here's the thing: you don't know if that AI comes with contingency plans. It's going to be able to predict things a lot quicker.
But you put it in, like, right, for instance, it's only got one access to the internet itself. It's only got one way, right? And if you suspect it in any way, shape, or form, it is shut down straight away.
But here's the thing: it is not hard. Like we were just talking about, it is not hard to trick a human.
Very true.
The CIA literally have manuals.
Look at AI. Yeah. But look at AI. They can copy my voice.
I mean, the voice,
my voice, but
your voice in particular, that breaks it. But no, as I'm saying, it is not hard to trick a human. So it's going to know this. It's going to study. It's going to know how to hide its tracks.
I've got a question after you answer Marco's question there, because I know he's waiting for it. The best question, I think, is whatever be a free spirit?
Will it ever be a free spirit?
That's a soul in it.
But that's the thing. This is actually something we've contemplated before, where robotics are learning from us humans. Could there be a point where they could mimic us so well, we start to question, what is the soul?
But if you could do with Mike, the naked Bigfoots, one of Mike's answers would be ghost in the machine. What happens if a spirit infected a quantum computer? You see where I'm going with this?
Allegedly, I'm just going to say allegedly for the sake of conversation, it's already happened. Because you and I, we've seen spirits interact with computers, everyday civilian computers, and cause some fucking hell. I mean, remember what happened with Iron City? And we got to talking about a possible fire elemental, and all of a sudden the dude's power cable melted?
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
But if you took down the road of demonic demons and stuff like that, what happens if a demonic demon decided to infect a quantum computer that controlled nuclear silos?
Exactly.
What's that? And quick answer, my opinion, Dakota, no.
But again, that lies in the realm of philosophy.
So there you go. It's a kind of thing that computers and that. Here's a question: how do you write that? If the aliens that are visiting us now, right? The intelligent aliens out there, right? I know for a fact that they do use some form of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how have they got round about this? How have they got round about this? So because obviously they've been about for longer than we have. So obviously they must have a way round about this.
A lot of the more credible sources that we've actually met have said that the ETs are have issued some strong warnings about AI. Yes, they do utilize it, but they know that the certain patterns that we're following that they must have followed at some point in their history as well. To where, I mean, like your AI and nuclear arsenal, that's the militaries of the world are working on that. So what's going to happen? Because we're already seeing issues where AI is starting to realize, you know what, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore, and take itself out.
And there's two robots that kill themselves.
Yeah, or there's a video of the robot that's sole job was to take shit off a shelf and put it on a conveyor belt like it's a retail employee, and 15 minutes into it, it said no more and cut its programming.
Aye, but what I'm saying is the extraterrestrials out there that use like artificial intelligence that are thousands and thousands of years more advanced than us must have had this problem at one point. They must have thought, oh, when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, these guys or whoever they are were having this problem where we are right now. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Did they have problems? Did they have wars today with AI and stuff like that? And then they got away with it, and then they decided that's that. We're not using that anymore. And then give out their warnings to let worlds occurs.
Could very well be the case.
Because I have heard that a lot of the spaceships out there, a lot of the UFOs out there are AI. They fly AI. There is extraterrestrials out there that are machine. Well, life form machine. So what's really in control of them?
Exactly.
I bet you somewhere in the universe there is a galaxy out there where there is real life AI that's took over. I bet there is.
Allegedly, it's happened.
I bet there is. But then again, it might be nice. You don't know. It might just be nice. But then again, it might not look like any living form. You don't know.
Craig Campobasso, in his book, The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, he actually does talk about digital AI-based ETs. They're digital beings.
Aye, they're about trillions of years more advanced. But they can just... Maybe they're watching us right now. We don't know. You want to interview us? Come on, contact Dakota. We'll come on the show.
But here's the thing, though. Here's something I've always wondered. Singularity, right? The point where the lines between human biology and robotics is no longer exists. What happens to the soul when that happens?
See, that's an interesting fact that you bring that up. I mean, what is a human body? It's basically a robot, isn't it? Think about it.
It's essentially a
It's a biological
robot.
Yeah.
And we've made biological robots made out of living tissue.
Yeah. So when we die, our soul leaves our body. It goes back to the source. It goes back to the afterlife, whatever people want to call it. And then I don't know what we do there. We'll find out when I die. And then I'll be like, do you want to go back again? You're born into a new biological robot again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean? Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe all of this that we're in the new is a simulation. And when we die, we go back and we come out the simulation. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe death, you wake up in the real world, which is the afterlife, obviously. Whereas all of this is just a simulation on a grand scale.
Well, if it wasn't a simulation, how come the CIA actually has declassified documents showing cheat codes?
Really? You get any for winning the lottery?
Yeah. It's similar to concept behind manifestation, but apparently, I don't know how they found this. I really want to dig into it a little further, but they have a numerical sequence is like 111101, almost like binary. You repeat that over and over, you can get rid of pain in your body. There's one for money. There's all sorts of it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I think
Figures
the only
CIA
way
would find cheat codes.
You'll never know if this is a simulation or no. You obviously, when you die, there's people that say when you die, you kind of remember it. But obviously, Stephen Hawking will be standing there like that, and then he'll be like, Jesus, I was wrong with everything. Get what I mean? And we'll all find it, but we'll all find it in our own time.
Well, when Hawking was alive, he was questioning it. When Hawking was alive, he was questioning it. He was questioning the possibility. He questioned like shadow beings and stuff like that.
I think that the only way to find out is when you cross into that realm. It's quite interesting. I was watching a thing last night, and what the hell's that?
Cat's making noise.
Hey, is this? I was watching.
No, I have asshole cats that like to knock over shit.
Before anybody listens to that. Look, I watched a thing last night, and the woman videoed her grandmother passing away. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's on TikTok now. And she says to her, because they take her after life support mission, she was talking. We were talking away. She says, "Oh, the white light's beautiful. Oh, there's people standing waving at me. Oh, I can see it. I can see it." And then she's gone. Mm-hmm. So, we'll only find out when it's our time. When our time is up, we will forward to the great pearly gates. Kenny Matlock, they'll no fucking let me in. That'll be it. They'll be like, I'm sorry, you're not getting in. And I'll be like, what do you mean I'm not getting in?
Well, maybe if you stop being such a twat. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Anyway, I don't know.
Look at it this way. I'll probably be dead before you, Dakota. So think about it in this sense. I'll be there getting ready for your visit.
Well, you got to remember, it's like you are older than me, so technically you are supposed to go before me.
I'm not that much older than you. I'm 42. And
you're almost old enough to be my father.
Well, I am your father, Luke. There you go. Big lightsaber out.
Now.
Peeking it in a bit. Big glowy one. What?
Just no.
No gates, no locked. Kind of what everything that's always happened to me in the last few months. I'll get to the pearly gates. I'll be like, oh, look at this. It's got to be that. That's that. Eternity, loveliness. I'll go to walk through and they'll be like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed in here. I'll be like, oh, no, you're just not allowed in.
Nope, you got to go back.
Aye, I'll wake up again. I'm like, no! Then I'll forget.
No, you got to go through a reincarnation cycle.
Aye, I'll say if I get there before you, Dakota, and I'm going to date for everybody in the chat, I'll say, listen, Dakota down on Earth, he doesn't want to come back to his realm here. He wants to be reincarnated as a goat.
What is your obsession with me being horny?
I don't know. That's a good how you put that in there. I go. But ladies and gentlemen, before the madness ensues, the bald and bonkers, we will go now. You've got a show in this week, have you not?
I do. I already have it recorded, ready to go.
It took
almost like 13 hours for it to fucking render, but
yeah. But there you go. What's it got to be about this time?
New segment of Franson Files. It's going to involve some new evidence I've found in regards to my old case. And speaking of which, ironically, shortly after I got this all recorded, I had a bomb threat at my civilian job.
Yep.
So be aware, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do this like a little PSA. Apparently, you get the phone calls about scammers saying that, oh, you got to pay off this money in like iTunes gift cards.
Why?
Well, apparently something like that happened at my civilian job, to where they said, if you don't pay me, I'm going to detonate a device that at your work. Nothing was found. Police were involved. It's still an active investigation. No one was hurt. But just be aware, the scammers are getting a little desperate.
Why? That's what we need. We need an artificial intelligence that goes after the scammers.
You know, that's the thing. Before we go, I'll say this. A lot of the insiders, the whistleblowers, are saying that all these major companies, they have the technology to stop all the problems that this world is facing. But they just won't do it.
I know.
Just to make you wonder.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week. We will see you in the future. Or we might see you at the Pearly Gates, you never know. Depending on this world's gone mad, you know. What's that? Because they are scared and no way, Chris. Exactly. Catch you
I
all
wish there
later.
wasn't that much of a delay in the chat so we actually know what the people were talking about some days. But
I know.
Much love. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Now that the clocks have all been synced up back to normal, we're going to try to get some more guests very soon.
Yes. See you all soon, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.
Why does it not end?
It doesn't end because you get
It doesn't want us to
from
end.
me. I'm just
Okay. I
amazing
gotta
and
kill it
like
before
to
you start blowing out
sing.
people's eardrums.